Hello! Welcome to my do. My name's Marge. I'm a Heyoka empath, and I just like doing these little talks about how I feel about things. Lapse time 7 minutes. So, I had a couple stories. I made some notes today. I wanted a story to tell about transmuting karma on latitudes and longitudes. So, I had one of my viewers yesterday had a question about Heyoka. I'm going to try and address that today and see, to every paradigm, there's negative and positive. It's what the container directs its vibe, whether they live in service of others or service to self. Service to self is that lower vibrational stuff, greed, control, all that stuff. When people have to feed their power with all that stuff, that's egoic. But when people are living from their heart, combined, in conjunction with their, their subconscious and conscious are one and the same, because they live so much in truth that subconscious, they live that. It's not separated, So, Wetiko, 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 that is the dark side of Heyoka. That is Heyoka when the ego is running the show. She provided this information. I figure there's a dark side to Heyoka. I just figure there's a dark Heyoka, because there's, Heyoka the light like me, and, there's the negative to every paradigm. But she was the one that drew it to my attention of what Tico, and that is essentially Heyoka when ego runs the show, and I can fall into that lower vibrational when I don't do my fine tuning, my spiritual conditioning. I can do that. I can be a big old egoic jerk too, and only it's worse. It's more detrimental because that means that I think that I am separate from whatever encounter I have, and I'm not. We are all connected. So yesterday I was doing a thing because I believe in latitude and longitude, and we end up where we're supposed to be. And I lived out in the Midwest, Omaha, Nebraska, for a long time, and I think that the way that we heal karma is just by just being the good in dark situations. I think that's how we can resolve our own karma, is just like making things right, being positive in negative situations. And when I stationed out, I was an age mechanic. This is kind of cool. When you leave the shop, there's a guy that makes these for you. This is a sticky brick. It's a sticky brick. A brick from the past. See, now when I think about the military and camaraderie, this is what I think about these things. I don't think about what, the big brass freaking killing people for profits and money. I don't think about that. I think about the communities that are made in house. This man made it. These are made by a civilian. Now, yesterday when I was looking at this day in history, I was amazed. I looked at my birthday, and then I was like, man, there are so many freaking just military conflicts. Like, a lot of them on the day I was born, right? And then latitude and longitude, Nebraska is in line with the town I grew up in, Redding, and then I ended up in Omaha, which is really close, ±2 from the latitude. And then I get this, okay? Now I'm going to read it quick. It says, a brick from the past. This wooden brick, when I read it to Mom yesterday, I started crying. I hope I don't start crying today, because I got overwhelmed by emotion. This wooden brick is a brick from the floor of the Martin Bomber Plant, Omaha, Fort Crook, Nebraska. This plant was built in 1941 and was designed for the manufacture of aircraft to support the United States World War II war effort. And all 1,585 B-26s and 531 B-29s were produced in this plant, including the famed Enola Gay and boxcar. The purpose of the wooden floor was to eliminate static electricity, and these bricks is what sat on the floor. Now, the reason why I get so upset about this because the Enola Gay was modified, and that is what killed 4 million people in Japan. So the way I look, I got to be there for 6 years and speak my truth and live honestly, and I still continue to do that today. So I could be good in a negative situation, because you don't kill people, and you don't kill people for profits. Humanity needs to now more than ever count more than money, because we're at a very crucial point. And if the cosmos sees that money's more important, then things can get real bad for us here pretty quick. So the interesting story on the top, there's an age ranger, has a coin. Boop. Aerospace ground equipment, the muscle behind the mission. There's no air support without ground support. Yeah. Anyway, I was talking to my friend who made him yesterday because he had an operation. I was calling to check on him. He even put felt on the bottom. This is attention to detail, I tell you what, you know. I was like, how many of these did you make in your, since you've been there like 30 years, 20, 30 years? He's like, oh, probably 150. And he had a log of them. He had a log of them. He was keeping track of how many he made and who they went to. And I was like, do you remember which one I was? You know what number I was? And I was like, he's like, no, I don't. But when Offutt got flooded last year, the water rose up over the flight line. The shop that he worked in got flooded, and the record was on the bottom shelf, the folder with all the records in it, and it got ruined, so he threw it away. But there's 150 age rangers all over the United States. In the last 30 years, you got one of these. Sticky brick. All call. Woo, yeah. Anyway, so I got to transmute. I got to be a positive situation, and to help heal some of the karma of that latitude and longitude offered Air Force Base. People are starting to see it now more, that they don't want wars. They don't want people to die. We want people to live. The wars, the threat aren't even overseas anymore, because people are freaking, when kids are scared to go to school because they think they're gonna get shot. Yeah, we got a bigger problem here on hand. So I'm gonna end up on this because I don't really want to talk too long. I think I'm about 7 minutes in. Lapse time started at 7. Anyway, so yesterday the cable went out for a little while. So I put it in a DVD. I got all kinds of DVDs, And Mom and I started watching Ma and Pa Kettle. And if you don't know what Ma and Pa Kettle is, you might want to check it out, because it's pretty freaking entertaining. It's rated G, so it's good enough. It's family friendly, And I was like, we really are programmed when we're kids, because I remember watching this when I was a kid, and what it was is like, Mom and Pa Kettle, they had like 14, 15 kids, and they didn't have a lot of money, and then the city comes in wanting to clean up their stuff. Well, they have an older son, and he was, he did really well for himself, so he upgraded his folks' house, and so they got all these fancy amenities, And when this movie was made, it's like these amenities were, top notch. That's what, and I'm like, maybe this is why some of the reasoning for my program, why I'm always trying to make things better, because I used to see these gadgetries, and it's like all things are possible. All you have to do is imagine it and then build it, And so I thought that was pretty cool. It brought back, Mom and I were laughing a lot. That was pretty great. Let's see what else. I think that's about it. I got a bunch of errands done. I think I might do a video later on. So what Tico, thank you for educating me on that. Now I know what to think of when I'm in my ego. But it's been a pretty great few days. I've really embraced the Piscean sun in me, and I haven't even lost my temper in the last 3 days, since I made the decision that I need to keep it even keel, and then that there's nothing that's serious that I need to get all worked up about stuff anymore. When there are shifts like that, it lets me know I'm growing up, And I think I'm even gonna let my hair grow out a little bit. Yeah, a lot. I know I am. It's time. It's time to let the hair grow out. I knew I was gonna do it start one more time, because I did it once before, and I just freaking hate the maintenance of it and all that, because I have a lot of it. But it's I've been woken up to my ancestors, and that's our intuition. There's stories about my ancestors early on, like Vietnam, that got recruited, because of their tracking skills. And then when they were brought into the military and they cut all their hair, the young men went crazy, because that was their intuition. That's where they got their 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 knowing from. Their hair had a lot to do with it, and so they lost their way and they freaking went mad. And then the military's like, well, we don't have any freaking use for these. And they all got locked, a bunch of young dudes got locked up. It's all because freaking, military freaking took away their intuition by freaking shaving their head, trying to make everybody uniform. Not everybody is the same, man. There's a lot of people that are real, real different. You can't make a society that is conducive to one kind of personality, because when you do that, we get the world we're living in. So, anyway, I think that's about all I got for now. Freaking weather's gorgeous, mom's in great spirits. Got some more decaf today. I drank some regular because I knew I had to do laundry today, and I just wanted to get through. And I was just like, I talked to my friend this morning, it's Sticky Brick. He's my father figure, and that was another cool thing Mom and I talked about today too. Then all ended up for real. They say you pick your own parents, right? Yeah, we can pick our own parents to teach us the lessons that we need to learn, and we can get past the hurts and things like that, and whatever it did, and get to the point where you're not mad at them, because shoot, genetically, physically, every 7 years at a cellular level, we're not even the same people anymore. So they're not the same people that did this stuff. You're not the same people that lived through this stuff, And so getting past a lot of these hurts is what's happening in this day and age. And I got to, my mom and I have the best relationship that I could ever hope for. I never thought we'd be as close as we are today, and I'm grateful for that. And as far as father figure, I have one of those too, and I picked one that's proper and right for me. And it's kind of interesting because he's a Virgo, and I don't have Earth in my chart a lot. I know I have placements of Virgo in my chart, but I don't have any planets in those placements. So he's the same as my brother, astrological sign Virgo. So it's like he's all that. I know that, because not everyone is all light and dark, everything, but he is like all the positive aspects of what I know my brother has. I just can't find them. No, I recognize that doesn't sound right, because I know my brother has a lot of positive attributes too. We're just a little out of alignment. So I know that I can have that alignment with him because I have it with other Virgo, So there ain't no one sign that I'm like, no, I just don't deal with them at all. Because we all have these personality representations of what these signs are in all of us. So that's why everyone is all connected, because we're all the freaking same. Hurt is hurt. Doesn't matter how you get your feelings hurt. When you get your feelings hurt, hurt is hurt. And hurt people hurt people. And when hurt people are freaking running from ego, then this is the world we get. Verified by Mother Nature. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.